Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I want to try and talk about adjusting a pendulum clock, and this is most likely the issue if your clock stops all the time. I've done clock fixing for a few years now, and this is the most common issue I see is something with the pendulum gets damaged during shipping or people don't remove it. Technically, before shipping, you're supposed to remove the pendulum so that then it's not going to move the linkage at all that it sits on. Because basically the rod that's attached to the escapement, which we'll see, I don't know if I can really get it on camera, but the gear that's in there, it basically has a side-to-side notch gear that's attached to the pendulum, and it rocks back and forth, which makes the ticking. You can actually see this pretty well demonstrated on my master clock. You can see the back and forth gear up at the top, and then right there is the escapement wheel, which is responsible for the ticking that you actually hear. But what can happen with many clocks is basically this will get out of sync and you'll hear an out of sync tick. And sometimes with a lot of clocks, it's as easy as just simply carefully pushing the rod in the direction you hear the ticking. So with this clock, it's a bit tricky to hear, but we're getting a tick here on this side and then a tick in the middle. So the ticks are more on this direction than they are in here. We need to get them kind of centered and leveled. And so with a lot of clocks, if they don't have pins, so this one it won't work, you'll just carefully rock this rod in the direction of the ticking. And this will go for both forward and backward view, because if you're looking at the clock from the front view, you'll still want to push the pendulum in the direction you're hearing more ticking. So you'll just want to rock it more to this direction. And sometimes you can sort of bend the rod also some clocks are made a lot cheaper than others. This one though, since it's brass, it's really not a good idea to try and bend anything. And you don't want to break the suspension spring that's up here that's holding up the pendulum weight. So, with this clock, what I have to do is use two hands and hold this and then carefully push that top notch. I'm sorry, I'm not very good in terminology, but basically you want to hold this and then the side that's popping up, push it down a little bit, and then it'll even it out. You want to be careful though to just not apply too much pressure, go very slowly. If you are not comfortable doing this, you should definitely have a professional look at it. There's not much information out there on clock repair anymore, and not many people are even doing clock repair. That's the reason why I started fixing clocks. And I am going to get this clock going. It's just a tedious process. But yeah, I fully refurbished this master clock as well, because it had pretty much the same issue when I started on it, where it had, it was out of sync, it was dirty, all the wires had been gutted out of it, and I completely refurbished it, and it's fully functioning now. This one winds itself right then at the top of the minute. And I've added some NeoPixels to this clock and programmed a custom program. Anyway, hopefully you all find this video useful. If you have any questions about clocks, just let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out the other videos on my channel.